Hello, everybody. Welcome to Sock Talks with Sean and Joy. Glad to have you here today. And we are off to a great start for the fall season. And what can you say? I mean, this is it. I mean, we are in our season where every person you talk to should be easy with what we have to offer.
Well, I think it sets, it, you kind of, I look at this as resetting the bar. So, maybe you're here and then the fall comes and holidays and you set the bar up here for your volume or your commission. And then that's the bar you start with in January and your goal is to get that higher. So it really is a springboard. Or if you're not happy with where you're at, in your business, it's a great time of year where you're right. More people are, accepting of, well, yeah, I should probably do a Thanksgiving card, or I should do a Christmas or an after Christmas card. So they're more
Right.
willing. And we have, you've said it before, we have every option now, whether you want to just do one card to 1,000 people or,
Yeah.
drip on.
Yeah, exactly. There's just so many options out there, and we've mentioned it before, and again, it says to be mentioned again. Let people know what we have now. Let them know that they can do their subscriptions, or they don't need a subscription. They can prepay for the cards, or if they want to handwrite them and do the bulk like they would spend time going to Shutterfly and everything else,
Yep.
then just do it. I actually probably a little out of my I don't want to say my comfort zone because I'm not usually out there throwing this around. But when I did that 3 panel card with the three different options that people have this year, and after I did my little spill on why they want to consider, now, before you make your choices, like take a look at us. But I put at the bottom, I said, thank you now for supporting a small business versus a big business.
Sure.
You
No, that's
know,
a good point.
because that
Yeah.
yeah, because that's what we are, I mean, we are a small business, so it would help with that. But yeah, and for some people, it's easy now. Some people, it's a little harder now. But the ones that are easy is because they're already on a consistency basis. They're already doing a lot of this along the way. And Sean and I, we've been talking for the talked last week about Atomic Habits, the book Atomic Habits. So Sean challenged me to read the book.
And
Well,
she didn't do it. I
I
didn't
I
challenge you
did
to
not
read the
read the
whole
whole
book.
book.
I said, get
I'm
started.
partway through that, Sean.
And you
Uh,
and you got started and you're
I
reading it.
got
So perfect.
started. I got started with it, and I will get there. But it's really interesting because I think one of the first things it says in the book is when you set goals, it's not goals, set systems.
It is, and I've never been a system guy. I,
Yeah,
but I guess you But if you're achieving
process.
goals,
Yeah.
but you have to have you're right, you have to have some process or plan or,
Yes. Yes.
system,
Yeah.
I think system just doesn't sound right to me. But
Yeah. It sounds like
that's
something in writing's got you got to follow somebody's
right,
rules
coming
when
from
you have a
corporate
system.
America.
Yeah. But a system,
But it's habits, and
that's exactly right. The
I think he
way
said
people used to do it, yeah, the way
early on
people
in the
used to.
book is everything we brushing your teeth is a habit. You don't think about it, you want it automatic. That's how you want your send out cards business. I don't
Yes.
think about sending cards. I don't think about setting up appointments. I don't think about having the appointments. It's just built into your day.
Right,
And I
right.
know people struggle with that.
Yeah, and that's what I think the whole premise of what I'm seeing in the beginning of the book. That's the whole
Yep.
premise of the book. It's the habits, So you can't form a habit without doing it. You can't do it just because you have a word goal doesn't mean you're not,
That's
you got
true.
to do something with it. So he kind of termed that. And I thought the other thing I thought was really good is, you don't do something to learn, you do something to become. You're
Right.
not learning something, you're becoming something. And that terminology I thought was pretty interesting too, because it's just a way how you look at things. It's like, oh, I have to go and I have to learn today. I'm going to learn this, I'm going to learn that. Well, if you look at it a little differently, say, okay, what part of what I'm hearing is going to become part of my habit and be
Uh,
part of me?
and I think we hear, especially in network marketing, is who do you have to become to meet those goals,
Hmm.
those
Hmm.
big audacious goals? Who do you have to become? And I think some people, think
Yeah.
what? But and I think personally and I think in our society over the last 20-25 years we've not done a service by showing a lot of the reality shows that people
Yeah.
are already at a certain success level.
Yeah.
We don't, and maybe they talk about, well, when I was 20, they don't show the process of, you
To get
know,
there.
the work that was put in. And I
Mhm.
think that's part of the entitlement issue is, well, I deserve that. Yes, you do if you put the work in and you go to work and you put the habits in. And but I don't think we see that. We haven't seen it in the reality shows. And there's a
Mhm.
generation that grew up that way that like, well, I just have to state it and I'll be successful. Okay, why is it not happening?
Right.
And because you're not putting the work in, you put the action in. So
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Yeah. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, that's a good way to look at it. I had the honor last night. I was asked to be part of a panel in my women's group. And this is National Women's Business Week. And so they had a panel. There's like three of us that had businesses. And first of all, I was very honored to be asked to be in that because the other two ladies both have their own
Hmm,
storefronts where they started a business from the ground up.
sure.
And of course we're in the network marketing profession, which many people make that hard for people to look at as a profession, because of how they run it, kind of thing. So it really gave me an opportunity and opened eyes up to people to discuss the fact of um, the I want to say the negativity of network marketing that people have, but the
Well,
perception that they have out there of what this is, whether it's, and how it can be a business. And like I made a big point to say to people, I said, I said, if you love what you do, no matter what kind of job it is, it's not a job, kind of a thing. So don't get into something that's going to make you a lot of money if you don't
if
like
you're
what you're
miserable.
doing, and of course we're all about being product of the product, and that kind of thing. And somebody asked me the question, like, well, how many affiliates do you have? How long did it take you to get the affiliates you have? And it's kind of like, I have no clue because it's not about the affiliates. It's about how many people how many people can brighten up somebody else's day,
Sure.
and act on those promptings. I mean, that's our job. And that's, if you want to call it a job, that's what we do, kind of thing. But anyways, it was just great to kind of like, kind of put it out there with people that think MLM, network marketing, is
Right.
not a true profession, and I think for us, having these habits, these goals become even more crucial. I said, you don't have anybody telling you what to do. You don't have a time that you have to open up your front door and close your front door.
Right.
You don't have these rules that you have to follow with um, you know, taxes or whatever. I mean, you got taxes, but I mean, as far as, having all the permits and all that kind of stuff that you have to have. But you don't have a business if you're not yourself running your business,
Right.
and it
Absolutely.
has to become part of you. It's not a goal unless it's part of you.
So I would recommend if you're struggling being consistent with your let's call them money making habits, which are
Mhm.
setting appointments, walking somebody through sending a card, showing them how to get started, and asking them to get started.
And
Those are
sharing a
the
video. Yeah.
those, yes, share the video, share the ebook, but
Mhm.
the money making ones are setting appointments, showing somebody how to send a card, and asking them how they want to get started. Those are sending cards are great. That's so I loved, and I talked a little bit about how he suggested stacking habits.
Mhm.
So, and I'm using this now when I'm meeting with people because sending cards to people is a new habit we have to teach people. So
Mhm.
helping them become better card senders and more consistent means they're going to stay with send out cards. They're going to see success with send out cards. They're probably going to refer people to you because of them using send out cards, and your commission checks are going to not go down because they're going to stay on using send out cards.
Yeah.
So if your habit in the morning, say, is to get up, you grab your phone, you brush your teeth, you throw in and his thing was you throw in a minute of meditation after you brush your teeth. So you're already and then you go turn the coffee pot on, and whatever your habits are. So when you meet with somebody, or when do you send cards? All right, well let's put that at the end and say your reward is for you to send the cards, but you need to set up 2 appointments, or you need to follow up with 2 people. So you're stacking in between. And I did I just determined I'm going to read. I did in January. I'm going to read more books, and then it fell off. Okay, it wasn't a strong habit. So now I'm like, I get up, I do my thing, and if I don't have appointments, I'm reading 20 pages, 30 pages. And I've been consistent over the last 3 weeks.
Mhm, mhm.
But and there's no time frame. He kind of debunked it takes 21 days to create a new habit. He goes, no, it doesn't. It takes consistency to create a new habit. And sometimes that clicks at 7 days, sometimes that a month. So whatever that can be for you, and then you can carry that on to your clients and say, great, tell me about when you get into your office. Well, I get on, I turn on my computer, I check my social media. Well, great. So but right after that be a great time to send 1 or 2 cards. Yeah, because I'm on. So you get them in that habit of a certain time that they send cards every day that they can stick to. So that's how I'm going to move forward
That's
with
interesting. I have somebody I'm
customers.
talking to right after you, Sean, so
So
I'm gonna practice that.
so after you walk them through sending a card, hey, tell me about your morning. What do you do in the morning when you get to your office, or if you work from home? What's your daily routine when you get and say, wow, could you slide in, send in a couple cards in between? And it'd be best if it's not the last thing they do, but it's in between a couple because they're already doing those. So you're sliding
Mhm.
one in, and then they're more apt to stick to it and
Right,
impact the
right,
world. So,
right. That's cool. That's cool.
yep.
Well, we'll have more tips on that book before in the
As
next
Joy
couple.
finishes the book, yeah, no. But I'm telling you, if you need a roadmap on, and you know what, he even talks about getting rid of bad habits, the things just like what we hear, what you show, what you show attention on, or what you ignore, kind of, bad habit really. He said, look, a bad habit really never goes away, but if you ignore it long enough, you don't do it quite as much, or you don't do it at all, but it's always there. Like this is a terrible example, but he said during Vietnam, like 40% of the soldiers did heroin. 40%.
Wow.
But what they found out was when they came home, only about 10% of those continued of the 40% because it wasn't in their environment here. In Vietnam, it was, well, my
Mhm.
buddies are doing it. It's readily available. When they get home to their different life, their true life, that's not something I did. My friends don't do it. I don't even know who I
Right,
could go to get it. So it just stopped.
right, right.
So it's putting yourself into better situations if you want to stop a habit, or you want to start a new one. So yeah,
Mhm.
it's a really you know, deep thought. Really, and there's science behind it too. So how we
Mhm.
act and how we do things. So it's a
Right.
great book. And well, yeah, we'll talk about it as we move forward. So
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. So awesome.
alrighty,
Okay, well, that's a wrap, everybody. And
start your new habit.
start your new habit. Yeah, pick one thing. Start a new.
Just yeah, one
Yeah,
tiny.
just pick one thing for next week. What's going to be going to be something that you struggle with and it's not consistent that you can put out there, for yourself. You know. So,
Perfect.
awesome.
Alrighty.
All
Have a
right,
lovely
everybody.
weekend.
Have a great weekend. You too, Sean, and we'll see you guys next week. Bye-bye.
Bye bye.